What do you can't hear yourself in your headphones at all?
Only Willie talk.
Hey. Sound like my mic is dry.
Yeah, I can hear myself. You can't hear yourself?
Yeah. It sounds like my mic is dry. There we go. I'm in here now.
Alright.
My mic won't sound dry.
Yo. My name's D-Rage. I'm a music producer from Bay City, Michigan. I'm here with my co-host.
And it's Wonder. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 7 of Rage Radio.
Yes, sir.
If you've never tuned in with us before, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the show. If you've been viewing us before, thanks for coming back. Definitely check out our social medias. The link will be in the bio to all those. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and give us some feedback.
Yes. So, really, like Wonder said, if you haven't heard of us before, thank you for actually keeping us company today. But really what the show is we want to highlight creatives, businessmen, businesswomen, that anybody that's in that creative field of entrepreneurship, whatever. We want you on this show. So in order for us to do that, we really would love to come in contact with you. Hit us up at rageradiobroadcasting@gmail.com. So without further adu, with my fucked up voice today,
It's like that sometimes. Man.
Yeah, I'm just getting off of this flu, man. It's bad, dude. Like, my voice is gone. Me and Wonder had a business pitch today at SVSU that went really well. So I've been talking all day.
Yeah, we really have. But it was a good experience, you know what I'm saying, to get our feet in the door and be able to talk, to different people. We had some connects. I felt pretty comfortable up there. I'm feeling more comfortable here, too. I feel like we're getting more synergy. We're getting in sync. So it just seems like everything's going together.
Definitely.
Smooth,
I felt really good about going to that business pitch. Shout out Carter, right?
Yeah, Carter.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name, but Carter.
I know it. I just don't want to murder it.
Yeah, I don't
want to say it the wrong way. But.
No, shout out Carter, the guy that put on the whole SVSU business pitch. It was a great experience. I'd love to have him on the show maybe sometime.
Yeah, he was like a young cat like us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except he was going to school full time, you know what I'm saying, going for his master's, and on top of that, running 2 businesses, you know what I'm saying? And keeping
at least 2 businesses.
Yeah, and keeping everyone in contact and getting other people from Grand Valley to come out. So
yeah, that was great.
That was great.
Yeah, so shout out them, man. Shout out SVSU, man. Shout out.
They did something today.
Yeah, shout out being an entrepreneur, man. This shit is so cool. Yo, so today, like always, we have a special guest with us. He goes by Darrian Loehne, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself today. So, Darrian, hi. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. So, tell the people a little bit of what you do with music and being creative and what it is you do.
I'm a guitar player. I've been playing for roughly about 11 years. Guitar's always fascinated me, just in general. When I was younger, anything that I would listen to, just if it had a guitar in it, I liked it. Simple as that. And by the time my hands were large enough to play a guitar, that's when I started playing. And I'm self-taught. Never had interested in taking lessons. I always just wanted to play what I wanted. Just like I liked being in control on what I played. And I learned everything by ear, and it's fun.
Yeah.
So
how did you start learning guitar? Were you like playing songs, or what did you do?
There was always a guitar around my household. I visited my grandparents a lot. My grandpa was in a bluegrass band down in Florida, and he'd always have a guitar around. Always have just folk music on. There's always be the lead guitar always playing, and I'd always listen to that, and he'd always pluck out of it, and it always interested me. It just looked so awesome, just watching someone play. And when I knew nothing about guitar, I thought it was magic.
Yeah.
It was insane. There was just so many sounds coming out of it, and I was mind blown. It just doesn't play notes, it does more than that.
Right. So he was kind of like your first influence a little bit. Yeah, and that's amazing that you had that experience, to have someone in your family teach you that. Not a lot of people get that kind of mentor. That's why you're such a badass player today. But no, man. Obviously he's here today because he's a creative just like us. He plays music, and I think having people like him on the show, I think this episode is going to kind of highlight a different side of thinking about music, you know what I mean? Because because what he's into is totally opposite kind of what I'm personally into, and you're into a little bit, You know what I mean? Like, I think he's
definitely. I like what I like the guitar though. So I mean, like, I'm interested in interviewing him, seeing what some of his inspirations are as a guitarist. What kind of music? Actually, that's what I want to ask you. What kind of music did you said your grandfather influenced you? What kind of music did he play around the house? Because I know when I grew up, my parents were always playing like Marvin Gaye, stuff like that.
He'd always have a record playing. The record player was like the size of a refrigerator. It was huge. It's huge. It was early 50s record player. I think it was huge. It had like a built-in radio, and then the record player on the other side. That's it. And it was huge. And he was always a big fan of Johnny Cash. And he'd always play that. He always had like the live records. He'd switch it out, and then if he's not on the record player listening to something, he's either playing guitar or watching a concert on TV that he had, and it was awesome. Johnny Cash is probably like the earliest kind of guitar that I heard, and it was awesome. It was so bouncy and unique at the time, and they were starting a big movement, and he knew that, and that's what my grandfather grew up listening to.
Exactly.
And it just blew up, just like with the rockabilly blues. They took blues and made it electric. That big transition was huge, and that's what I really liked. I really liked that. I really liked listening to the guitars that came out of that, like late 50s, 60s, and 70s. That movement, so much creativity going on. It's insane. It was just. That's how lifestyle was then, you know. It was like that was the music, and it was awesome. Back then, that's all that they had. So there was a lot of creativity on people who wanted to make different sounds. It was awesome.
Exactly.
I think that time period was like very creative, like you said. I think a lot of people. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like more creative than any time period that we've had with music.
It's a creative time.
It is a creative time. It's like especially creative during that time. I feel like I think like a lot of the time like around there, like you said, Johnny Cash, but like post, I wouldn't say post, but like more into like the 70s and 80s, like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that, and like the original Woodstock, and like for some reason, like every time someone talks about like the original, when was the first Woodstock with like when Jimi Hendrix played?
1969.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I should have said 60s, but I think like for some reason whenever someone talks about that like period of time with like live concerts and people just doing like really creative stuff with the way they perform, like Jimi Hendrix doing all of his theatrics when he performed, I don't know, it's just like it seems like a very organically creative time versus like now it seems like people I guess it's like forced creativity or something, maybe. I guess that's just how I'm describing it. I guess
what I was gonna say about the whole music thing, it being very creative, I just feel like they didn't have a lot of people to mimic or emulate. You know, a lot of that sound was, you know, organic and being created themselves. Not to mention before the TV came out, there was radio. You know what I'm saying? So when that came out, people could see the visuals, see the concert. So that's one of my favorite times, you know, to learn about is, you know, back in the 50s, 40s, you know, when people were first starting to really make recording music, you know, when the technology was for them to able to be recorded. I just find that time, like, how did they come up with those concepts, those ideals, you know what I mean, with hardly any kind of, like, marketing besides, you know, the radio at the time. So definitely interested in that. I'm glad you're here today to be able to talk about some of your influences, you know.
Thanks again.
Very interesting. You know? Yeah, I think I talked about this with you one day, too, like, I feel like that the time, like, I could be wrong, but it seems like if you didn't know how to do live performances, true to this day too, if you're not a good live performer, you need to kind of rethink being just a creative like person that makes music or whatever. Like, I feel like live performance is so important.
It definitely is. Because some people can make a good studio album, but some people aren't that entertaining in person, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it is how it is, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like when I go to a concert, you know, like I like to come out of the concert being tired because, you know, the artist has me moving, you know, has me hype. I can't stand going to a concert where I'm just kind of like just sitting there and not hype or feeling it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it just goes like that. If you either got it or you don't, you know, at the end of the day.
What I've noticed with those older bands is how they portrayed their concerts. Since there wasn't much advertisement with music back then, they would play their newer stuff live before they'd even put it on an album. Their kind of mindset is if you can't play it live, it's not going on a record. So,
that's good.
So they had probably endless amount of songs that they had already written, and instead of just picking through it themselves and then creating the album, they would do a set list of, you know, their hits or what the people come to see, and they want to hear the songs they like, but they'd always put in little new things in their concerts, and they would see if the crowd likes it. If they don't like it, off the record. If it doesn't work out that tour, it's not on the record, but they play songs that the crowd would like, and then the songs that the crowd liked the most is what would go on their record. And since there wasn't no social media or high marketing for music, word didn't get around as much as when if they played a new song, they wouldn't go on the internet and see, you know, was it Jimi Hendrix plays a new song, you know what I mean? Like, not many word got around, so it was a really private atmosphere when they could really experiment and do anything they wanted, and when they were performing live.
Yeah.
So they could see what people liked before they could even step foot in the studio, which is awesome.
I like that. I think there are a couple artists that still do that. You know, like play live stuff, or I'm sorry, play new stuff live first. I think that's a really interesting concept. I think a lot of people
I like
should do
hearing that though, because like when you hear something new that you never heard at a concert and they preview it, it's like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they rip a freestyle, or like, oh, I guess it might not be a freestyle, but you know, it's just something new. So I definitely feel that. You know,
one person I've seen do that a lot is Drake though. You know, not to like
improvising.
Improvising maybe. I would just say playing new content. Like I've seen a lot of like viral posts with Drake's music being played, the new stuff that no one's ever heard. Like when he was about to drop More Life, he played KMT live at like a big London show, and it went super viral. And like it was viral enough to where the song didn't even come out yet, and there was already people just from the video of from like a crowd video of him playing this song KMT before it was released. People were saying, oh, he's biting XXX's flow and like other rappers' flows and stuff. So like I just think it's crazy. Like he can put out a video of new music, or someone else can, and then it'll go viral off of the fact of something else, like a different controversy coming out of that. This is all before the song is even released.
That was kind of like though. Remember when the Hill song the Weeknd had? It was on the Beauty Behind the Madness album, and that song, he was performing it live, and all they had was like the only snippet of the song was like a recording from a live performance. It was on SoundCloud. You remember that though? Like that was crazy. Like that song, people were waiting for that song to come out for months.
Right.
I remember, and it finally came out, and it was just like crazy. It blew up, and he dropped that fire ass video with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that in a sense. I definitely feel you. You know, when artists, you know, go ahead and preview their music like that. But I see them preview it a lot in clubs, too. Yeah. They'll be at a party at a club. They'll play it. The DJ will play it or whatever. And, you know, people are, like, you know, posting about it. Like, we need to get that new song, da-da-da-da. And it's either, like, it never comes out or it's just, like, it takes forever to come out. I don't know. Right. But regardless, it's cool. I mean, to preview yourself live. It is very
cool. I think it's a cool concept. So, Darrian, I know you're here because you play guitar really well, you know, but as far as instruments, like, did you grow up around other instruments, or was it only like guitar influenced you, or would you want to play other instruments?
The only person I knew guitar at the time was my grandpa, and my grandpa really couldn't afford any other instruments. He just had the acoustic guitar in the household and take it everywhere with him. Of course, I heard other instruments. I went to shows when I was younger. I'd see other people perform and everything, but I just didn't know anyone personally growing up that played like a different instrument. I've only really seen a guitar. So that's the one thing I could guarantee get my hands on if I wanted to go into music. So yeah, I'd take my grandpa's acoustic when he wasn't looking or something, or if he wasn't home or something, I'd play around with it. And then eventually I got a guitar, a little small acoustic. I mean, I was like 8, 9 years old, like real small. Like my hands could barely even fit around his guitar neck. So I got like a junior acoustic to practice on. I just played that until like my fingers bled. And,
right, the beginning.
I wonder if he was a little yodeling kid in Walmart. I can see him being that.
Dude, why did that go viral though?
I have no idea.
I saw that once on my Twitter, and then like all of a sudden it was like meme. I was like, bro, like
He's big now.
He's big.
He went on Ellen.
Did he?
Yeah.
Off the.
Off some
Yeah, he performed on Ellen.
Did he?
Yeah.
Bro, I can't believe these kids are getting on Ellen like this, bro.
Come on, Ellen, man. Come mess with us. Get us on your show.
Like, I like that she had him on there, I guess, but like, I mean, I don't know, dude. The kid was getting made fun of on Twitter.
Bro, they were blaming dude, bro. For no reason, though.
And then now he's on Ellen, though.
Man, what? That's crazy to me.
I saw a tweet about him when that came out, and it was like, literally the tweet was this, bro. It was like, bro, I'm sorry, but I would cry if I saw this in person.
That's what I was laughing about.
Dude, I can't.
I seen the video, and then the next day someone already remixed it.
Yeah. Everybody does that meme where they put auto-tune on it, and it's hilarious every time.
The internet is so quick. Like,
quick bro.
with it.
Like, they won't play around with, like, making fun of you.
At all.
That's why, like, I'm low-key scared doing, like, videos on YouTube and podcasts now, because, like, I feel like I'm just going to slip up.
Let us get
And I'm going to be the auto-tune kid next.
Bro, I would be crying if that happens. It's probably going to happen to me, though, not you.
I hope it's you, to be honest with you. I hope I see you on Twitter just auto-tune the fuck out.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But, yeah.
Gets you on Ellen.
Me on Ellen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Ellen, but she just had a yodeling kid on there.
I go on Ellen, though.
I would go on Ellen. No, don't doubt me. I would definitely go on Ellen and chill. I feel like Ellen's cool as fuck.
Yeah, she's fresh, too.
Fresh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I definitely want to ask this one question because we were talking about a little off air, but because you're such like a big Led Zeppelin fan and like most like everything I've played with you kind of has been like Led Zeppelin influenced. Like I feel like a lot of your guitar playing. Would you say that it is?
Yeah. Jimmy Page is a wizard. What can I say, you know?
John Bonham's a wizard.
Every single one of them. They were all professional groups before they even got together. They were all... the bassist, John Paul Jones, he was a professional bass player for a studio. He was a studio musician. So is Jimmy Page. And when they'd always work together, they were grade A studio musicians. If anyone needed them, just call Jimmy Page, call John Paul Jones. As simple as that. They'll get the work done, one take, gone. Like, make it as quick as possible. Those guys are grade A musicians.
Right.
And Jimmy Page wanted to create the band. He was recently in a band called the Yardbirds, and that was Eric Clapton, if you're familiar with him. Yeah. That was one of his first groups, and he left, and Jimmy Page took the toll. And right after the band slowly like degraded, like he created Led Zeppelin, and he wanted to find the best musicians around, basically, and asked around. I think like less than like 6 months he created that band. It was insane. And there was from what I've heard, the rehearsal room when they all got together, it was insane. They all knew how each other played. It was just instant. They just knew right away that the people in that room, they had something big.
Yeah.
And they did that same thing going back to playing songs live before they put it on the studio. That was their thing. I heard Jimmy Page say in an interview once say that if the crowd didn't like it, then they're not putting it on an album. They if they can't play it live, it's not going on the record. So
yeah, the reason I bring up that question is because there's been obviously we're all familiar with the band Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to have them on here.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
That'd be crazy.
They're cool. They're cool.
They seem cool, man.
No.
But and they're from Frankenmuth.
Yeah.
So it's obviously they have to
it's a close drive.
Dude, very close. And I ask because it's funny because in our 2 episodes ago when we had Vital C on here, we actually talked about this with him as well because he's also a guitarist, you know what I mean? And do you think what they're doing is like ripping off Led Zeppelin, or do you think it is like they're doing their own thing?
They're kind of like in the same position as me. I'm really influenced by Led Zeppelin, so of course the things that you're going to play is going to sound similar to them. Jimmy Page listened to all the blues guys, all the blues legends when he's growing up. He listened to Elvis Presley. He listened to all the rockabilly guitarists and stuff, and when he played, he sounded just like them. And, you know, just countless other artists do the same thing with their influences. You know, like the people who you're influenced by with mixing, of course there's going to be snippets of things that are similar. I mean, and of course interpreted differently, which is Greta Van Fleet's doing. They interpret it completely different. They kind of make their own atmosphere, but you can tell where they originated from, like who their influences were. And Led Zeppelin is an insane band, and no one can replicate them. So I mean, if you can have that sound, then that's awesome. They started a huge movement in their time, and really creative guys. So of course, you know, people are. I mean, if you're a guitarist and you're not influenced by Led Zeppelin, you're lying.
See, what I'm gonna say about that though is a couple things. One, I think that's really cool that they can do that. You know
it's a hard sound to get.
Yeah, and not to mention, I look at it as a way of paying homage too, in a sense.
In a good way too.
Not to mention their age. You know, that music has has been around way before their time. I think that's really great. And another thing that I like that they do, I saw on one of their Instagram pages, is they went around. They were starting their tour. They actually went into a tour bus, like kind of like a van. You know what I'm saying? They could have easily just flew to where they were going, and I just thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like me as a producer, I missed out on a lot of things that I could have seen back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Or
like
not,
what?
You know, as far as like getting a band together and producing a track that way. You know, that's one of my goals that I really want to do. I want to get a band together, or a guitarist together, or a pianist together, or even a choir together, and I want to produce an album, you know, off of exclusively off of live sound. You know, so what they're doing, I think, is really great. I have, you know, no shade towards them, and I definitely want to get them here to be able to talk about touring, how it is being young.
I think they're in Europe right now.
Yeah, they are. You know what I'm saying? How it is being young like that. At that age, to be able to go and do that, you know what I'm saying? Different kind of, you know, temptations or whatever it is, decisions that they got to make, you know. I'm just interested in being able to get a little bit more from them.
Right. I mean, they're kind of doing like the ideal lifestyle for like if you're in a band. Like I know people that personally know them in high school, whatever, because they went here, and they said they were gone for tour a lot, even in high school. You know what I mean? I think they were seniors, someone said, when they kind of got to the point. You know, if they listen to this, I hope I'm not wrong. But I think they were seniors maybe when they got to the point of actually being to the point where they were out of school touring. You know, and like I've always wanted to be in a band like that where it was you get a little, not fame, but you get to the point where you can like leave your state and do what you love and tour, and just young, you know what I mean? Like we're still young and we're still doing things at a young age, but it's like
they're doing it at a way different younger age.
They're
like
doing
straight out of high school.
They're doing what so many bands want to do. Period. You know. At
the end of the day, though, too, what I also think is cool, like that whole band kind of vibe, like you know, being with that team all day, like you know, you're getting sick of people. You know, there's always that one screw up in the group that you gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? Like that just kind of makes me like think about the Temptations in a way too. You know, David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? With his, I'm not sure if you guys know who that is, but he was a singer for the Temptations. You know, him, you know, messing up with his drug problems and stuff like that, coming to rehearsals late, you know what I'm saying, that kind of stuff. Like, I just like the idea of a band. Like, you have to be in sync, you know what I'm saying? You have to basically anticipate each other's moves, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing that live, typically. It's like, I'm very into that. You know, I love bands, you know, just any kind of story about a band at least.
Right. You know? I agree. I just like, I like the vibe of, like you say, being like a group, I guess. You know, I've always wanted. I've bounced. It's so funny. I bounced from like group to group as just a musician since I was about 15, even starting to try to do this. I've bounced from group to group. You know what I mean? So it's like I definitely vibe with and am attracted by the group effort. You know, I mean, I love that we have a group now of people that are working so hard on this. But you know, and not even but. It's just, you know, I agree with you. I like groups. I think
I've never had the experience. I've never played instruments like that to be able to even kind of like even come to the ideal of maybe forming a band. So like kind of jealous of you guys. You guys can play the guitar and drums and stuff like that.
It's fun, man. You know? Me and him play drums and guitar together, and
sometimes you play guitar and I'll play drums.
Yeah, dude, I'm terrible at it, but I'm learning, bro. But yeah, man, it's definitely like I agree. Like if you play a physical instrument, like you definitely get like a different enjoyment out of that rather than like us making a beat. You know, like if I had to choose to make beats every day or just play my instrument the rest of my life to do my career, I would pick drums any day.
I think when I get to that point, because I'm gonna put it into existence right now. When I get to that point of being able to produce an album with live instrumentation, it's gonna be fire. Because I just have this sound in my head that I can't ever hardly produce because I can't play it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me know.
But I know for
Right.
I know
mean,
for
you
a
can.
fact when I get into that situation, it's gonna be some next level shit.
It is. It's. I mean, like I said, me and him have made some shit together, dude. Just
It's
like,
always interesting.
It is.
It's a different atmosphere every time we're together.
Yes, it's fun, dude. Like you get someone, even people that can rap though. Like you can't disagree that like the first time, like okay, you go from making beats all by yourself, and then like the first time you get in the studio and you're with like a rapper, like you're both in the studio together trying to do something live right in front of each other. It's totally different.
Yeah, and
than
then
making
I
beats
see
by
exactly what you're
yourself.
saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because you're trying to basically put two instruments together. I mean, a digital instrument, but his voice as a rapper, an instrument, and blending it with the beat
Right.
or whatever it is to make it sound good and make a message out of it. But I don't know. I think it is an experience in itself, though, when you actually get an artist in the studio.
It is.
So
Yeah. Where do you want to keep going with music? Like I know we do recordings together and we keep working on music, but maybe it's not even a career for you, I guess, in your head. Like you would love to make it a career, whatever it may be. Where do you see yourself wanting to go with music?
If I could make it a career, then I'd thumbs up to that. I'd like to do that.
Right.
For future things that I want to do with music, I really want to get to know local musicians, help them out, see if, any local people who are wanting like a guitar in their track. I'd be like an honor for me to go there and work with local people and get to know more people with music, because when I was growing up, I never really had that, and I'm just kind of hungry for finding people and playing
Right.
music. I'll appreciate any type of music. If I'm able to like sit with someone and talk music and create music with someone, then that's priceless to me. I'd love to do that. So for future things, maybe in the long run it'd be nice to have a group and do things, but in the meantime I really want to get to know local people, with see how they play and see how I can learn off of them and they can learn off of me.
that's why we're here. And
Yeah.
we need to make sure we go ahead and support the Excellency Fest coming out soon.
Good fucking pick, dude.
You know what I'm saying? And being able to like go there and support, and you yourself, obviously, you can go there and
Of course, yeah.
get an idea of some of these local artists.
Yeah.
But I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care if you rap, sing, you play an instrument, draw, take pictures.
Right.
If you got something to say, I definitely want you guys, in all seriousness, to reach out to us and talk to us. We have no kind of bias here at Rage Radio. We want everyone here. Whether you can be a business person too, just come here and talk to us. That's my message today too. If you have something that you're passionate about, you're starting off at, because I'm still basically at the point where I'm starting off too, but I've just took it a few steps further. Don't let people bring you down. Don't feel overwhelmed. Do it. Don't say no. Don't be told no.
Right, really though. Big facts. I like that. I think a lot of people can't be told no. Like they'll hear no and just, like you said, like accept that. Like accept that someone said no to them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of situations that you're gonna get into where people are gonna say no to you, and then you just gotta keep moving towards that next step, and eventually you'll get over that no and be like, oh look, I did it, and they'll be like, oh fuck, I just said no to that.
You'll be the one saying no.
Exactly. Or they'll be pissed that they said no to you because you got past that point
Exactly.
of what you needed their help for, and them saying no to you for not wanting to give that to you, and then you're like, oh shit, I just did it myself, dude. Fuck you. That's just nasty.
Just keep kicking the doors down. And when you kick the door down, the person that told you no, what I'm saying, pick up the hinges off the ground and hand them to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we're here.
Right.
We're knocking doors down.
By the way, just because you said Excellency Music Festival, I think it's August 4th, actually, just went on the Facebook page. I was actually getting a lot of engagements on the Facebook page. That's being put on by some good people, obviously. They help us with some things that we like to do as well. They got some big names playing. Of course, Forest Green's going to be back there. Hot Mulligan. Tiny Moving Parts is headlining it. They're a big band, dude.
Yeah,
like,
and we're gonna go ahead and put their website in our bio below too, so you can guys purchase some tickets.
Yeah, definitely. Yup.
And it's gonna be in Bay City too, at the Masonic Temple.
Yeah.
So
Great venue as well.
It is. I'm
Yeah.
kinda jealous. I want to get there.
I know,
I
dude.
want to do a show there.
It's a really nice place actually to do shows. I just definitely had to get that shout out for them. But Yeah, so you said future music, you know, you'd like to make it into a career. I would love to make this into a career. You know, just like, even just being on the podcast. You know, it's
That's
just
what I'm saying.
doesn't feel like a job.
I'd love to get up every day, every morning, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Talk on the radio, play some music.
Right.
Go get some breakfast.
Right, dude.
Come back, chop up the videos, all that.
Yeah.
It'd be fire.
So where do you see yourself if you were to make music this career that you want it to be? Are you like an LA guy, or are you like, are you a big city guy, or would you kind of like want to just do your thing and live somewhere more?
I'd of course like to travel the world and make music. That's like, you know, that's a big dream of mine. Like, you know, just being able to travel and go travel somewhere with a purpose, not just travel somewhere just to sightsee and just be that tourist. Just to be able to say that I'm going to like Moscow, Russia, and I have a purpose in Moscow, Russia, rather than just going somewhere and just, all right, I'm here to see things. Because I do that a lot. It doesn't get old, but I'd always just like to go somewhere, just like a foreign land, and have something waiting for me there, to do my passion. That'd probably be like the best feeling.
Yeah, that's cool that you said that, because I don't think like that's a big difference between going somewhere just to go visit and going somewhere because you have something to do. Like you're there for a purpose. You know what I mean? Like I definitely like, even like I was gonna be in this music producer competition in Toronto, and like the feeling of going there because I'm like invited and like I'm, you know, I did something to get to that point.
Right.
Like that's different than just going to Toronto and chilling, going to the OVO store. You know what I mean? Like I just think it's
I'm a little bit of both. I'm in the middle. I like to just go see stuff. I like to see how people live, you know, how it's like. Or I kind of like to feel like the outsider too, in a way. I know it just gives me some sort of like, you know, different kind of inspiration.
Right.
But I'm with him on that. Like I kind of want to have a place to have a purpose or have something there, you know.
Right.
So I feel you.
No, but no, dude. I think a lot of what we said today was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like there was definitely Darrian. You gave some really different insight on some stuff. You know, like there's some stuff you talked about that I've never talked about ever really.
Same to you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, definitely you're gonna come back. You're another guest that's obviously gonna come back. Yeah, I mean, it's like we said earlier though. We would love to keep seeing new faces on here. You know, we want to build this to be something that's not just like the local scene. I guess like build Michigan to be this radio station to come here to kind of get your interview and get your face shown. You know, that's the goal. You know, but to get my shout outs in, I guess shout out SVSU, shout out being an entrepreneur. Shout out Cardi B getting pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Any more shout outs?
I think that's solid. Shout out to our crew. Shout out to Andy Swat.
Yep. Shout out Asthma.
Shout out Zack, Nich, Loki.
Shout out new pop filters.
Yeah, we got some new pop filters.
Shout out Not Being Broke. Shout out
that's it.
Team No Sleep, I guess. I don't know. But no, this has been episode 7 of Rage Radio. Thank you, Darrian, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Anytime, dude. Honestly, anytime. I love having you, bro. It's fun. No, but thank you to our returning listeners. We'll see you next week. And
subscribe.
Subscribe, like, comment, all that good shit. But yeah, new faces next week. Tell your friends about us. Share the page, etc. We want to grow this. So thank you. This has been episode 7 of Rage Radio.